Number 3 on the Derby qualifying points list this year was Vekoma for George Weaver. You see this pedigree by Candy Ride out of a Speightstown mare named Mona de Mama. Based on the mom side of things, you would think shorter, perhaps one turn. I still have this sort of nagging suspicion that one turn may still be where he flourishes and is at his absolute best. But he did kind of squash those concerns. I don't want to say squash him, but he at least he quieted those. He softened those concerns a little bit, most recently in the Bluegrass. Before we take a look at the tape, look at what he's done in 4 lifetime starts. He really hasn't done anything wrong. He's earned 87 buyers or better in all 4 starts, 3 times 90 plus, 2 times 94 or greater. This is a horse that continues to just prove that he's a solid, talented racehorse. Now, down the road, is he going to be a mile and an eighth, mile and a quarter type, or is he going to be a 7/8 one-turn miler? Who knows? It's probably too early to tell. I still have some suspicions that it might end up being better going shorter, that he may really flourish and be at his best going a one-turn configuration. We're going to go back to the Toyota Bluegrass right now down at Keeneland. He's forwardly placed. Look at these fractions, 47, 23, and 1 for the opening quarter. He's forward. He's outside in the clear. He's going to go on with this. He goes and takes over from some like it Hop Brown. You've got Signalman coming on. Now, look, I like win-win-win, and I think he would have made this a heck of a lot closer had he not had that little spot of trouble right there. But take a look at this. Vekoma at this point is in full flight. I hate his action. I mean, I'm not going to mince words here. He's not the prettiest thing you've ever seen, moving anyway. But at the same time, he's finishing here. Now, is it him finishing, or is it a bit of an optical illusion where he's not slowing down nearly as much as everyone else is, with the exception of Win-Win-Win, who is actually finishing, and you can see he's gobbling up ground late. I think it's probably somewhere in the middle. The truth lies somewhere between the two. But this was a good effort from Vekoma, and he's the kind of horse that you're going to get a good price on, because I think there's going to be a number of people like myself that are still a little bit dubious about ultimately how far he wants to go. With his running style now, if you believe he's going to be that close to the pace, does that work against a horse that perhaps does have distance limitations, or he's not as well suited for the distance, the additional eighth of a mile, as some of his other sort of contemporaries? I hope that makes sense. Him being closer to a potentially faster pace, I think that could work against a horse that may have distance limitations, as opposed to one of these other ones that seems like they want to run on all day, like an Omaha Beach, where distance doesn't look like it's going to be an issue for him. I still think Vekoma is a really talented horse. Again, he is not the prettiest mover you've ever seen on the track, but he's just a proper blue-collar racehorse through and through. I still think he's going to be better shorter when it's all said and done, but he deserves and has earned his opportunity to run in a race like the Kentucky Derby. He has earned the points. He's won big races, and something to keep in mind about him and all these other horses, particularly in the top 5. Since this point system has been implemented, I've said it a million times, I'm going to sound like a broken record. If you have not won one of the final prep races across the country, you have not been one of the main players as far as a win contender is concerned for the Kentucky Derby. All of the winners of the Derby, of the Kentucky Derby, had won one of those final major preps across the country. Vekoma checks that box as well. He's got a good trainer in George Weaver. We'll find out what we get from a running style standpoint and how far he wants to go when it's all said and done. But for right now, Vekoma is going to be an interesting kind of, let's say, under the radar sort of horse. If you like this horse, you're probably going to get double digits. I'd imagine somewhere even in that 12-1 range, because there are going to be a number of doubters. But what he's done on the racetrack so far, he just proves and continues to show that he's a solid racehorse through and through. We'll find out in time, but for right now, he might be a sneaky little value play here if you like him in the Kentucky Derby.